My name is Kaden Kanakakeesic and I'm a 19-year-old knife maker operating within Sulicote, Ontario. I started making knives when I was 16 because I wasn't happy with the knives we were given as my job as a food prep. They had poor edge retention and could be better. I started making knives out of materials like this old steel file, railroad spike, and railroad clip spring. I heated the metal in a fire pit and then worked the metal hot over this railroad track anvil. After the forging was done, I would work the metal cold with files using jigs such as this. By clamping this blade down and adjusting this angle bolt, I can get very smooth, consistent lines cut with the file. I made these two knives with those same processes. This was a very slow process, so I started making my own tools because I couldn't really afford any new ones at the time. So I built this gas forge out of an air compressor tank and bought a burner and just mounted it on there. Next I would build this belt grinder out of a number of things, including the motor where I got that air compressor tank from. The motor wasn't enclosed, so I had to just tape a shop vac bag over it to work as an air filter to prevent the motor from dying. After I got into making my own tools, I stopped doing these mono steel blades. Instead, I would forge weld my own steel billets on this 300-pound South German anvil. I would take multiple types of steel, forge weld them together into a billet like this, and then forge that billet into a blade. And then once the blade is done, polished, you can etch it, and some steels will react differently to the etching than others. The result is this pattern. Some steels react differently, so they'll produce a different pattern. Based on how you layer the steel, you can get very different results. This is a low layer steel with only 7 different layers, while this knife has 512 layers of alternating 15N20 and 1080. As every knife ends up a little different, the customer ends up having a knife that is completely unique to them, as these patterns are not very repeatable. I work in a single car garage that I stole from my parents, so I want to thank them for letting me steal this space, and that's about it. So, thank you.